Okay, so let's just jump right in with a question that, honestly, if you think about it for too long, it might make you a little cynical.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Why do we always seem to treat the symptoms of our health problems?
Mhm.
Things like high blood pressure or high cholesterol.
Instead of actually hunting down the root cause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's a constant challenge, isn't it? We spend all this energy trying to get the numbers on a blood test to go down, but treating high blood pressure is, well, it's just treating the consequence.
It's like mopping the floor but never fixing the leaky pipe.
That's a perfect analogy. You're mopping up water in the kitchen all week because a pipe burst inside the wall, but you never actually call a plumber to fix the pipe. We're managing the leak, but we're totally ignoring the real damage.
Okay, so if high cholesterol is just the puddle on the floor, what's the burst pipe? Today we're doing a deep dive into arterial plaque, and I think we really have to flip the script on this
We
one.
do.
For years, we've been told that plaque, that gunk made of calcium, cholesterol, and protein, is the villain, the sludge monster gumming up your arteries.
Right, but here's the huge shift in thinking we need to make. Plaque is not the villain trying to kill you. It's actually the body's exhausted, totally desperate repair crew trying to save you.
That makes so much more sense. It's a patch. So if the plaque is just the patch, what's the injury? What causes the body to launch this whole emergency repair job in the first place?
It all comes down to the inner lining of your arteries. It's this single microscopic layer of cells called the endothelial layer.
The non-stick coating on your plumbing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when that layer gets damaged, and it's often by toxins circulating in your blood, it starts this dangerous cascade. The damage leads to inflammation, and the body's first response is to rush in and patch that injury with whatever it has on hand.
Which would be?
Cholesterol, protein, and calcium. And that patch, that's the plaque.
So the plaque itself isn't the problem. It's just the evidence. It's the proof that your arteries were already taking a serious beating.
And critically, when that endothelial layer is damaged, your body loses control of one absolutely crucial regulator, nitric oxide, or NO.
Nitric oxide, the silent peacekeeper. What is its main job in a healthy artery?
It is the artery's absolute chill pill. I mean, nitric oxide is a powerful vasodilator. It's the chemical signal that tells the muscular walls of your arteries to just relax.
Whiten up, let the blood flow smoothly.
Right. And when you lose enough NO, two pretty severe problems show up almost instantly.
And these are the two things we spend decades treating with medication.
Absolutely. First, your blood pressure spikes because your arteries are suddenly rigid and narrow. And second, your risk of dangerous clotting goes way, way up.
Wow.
And what's wild here is the statistic. Something like 90% of all heart attacks involve a clot. That clotting problem is a direct downstream consequence of not having enough nitric oxide.
Which was lost when the artery lining got damaged in the first place.
You see the chain reaction?
It really brings back that first question. If the root cause is this structural damage and the lack of NO, why are we so fixated in just treating the high blood pressure? That's the last domino to fall.
Well, because the thing causing the damage is so widespread, we've all just gotten used to it. We have to talk about what's actually destroying that endothelial layer to begin with.
Okay, let's go there. Let's talk about that primary source of destruction, because this is where I think a little bit of sarcasm is. Well, it's earned. We're talking about the sweet poison problem.
Indeed. The raw numbers are genuinely shocking.
So here's the paradox, right?
Yeah.
The average person on a typical high-carb diet is consuming something like 50 to 100 teaspoons of refined sugar every single day.
Every day.
Yet for years, many of them can maintain normal blood sugar levels. How on earth is that possible?
Well, to give you some context for just how toxic that amount is, the total amount of sugar that should be in your entire bloodstream for a healthy, normal baseline is just 1 teaspoon.
One.
Just one. And you're pushing, as you said, 50 to 100 times that amount through your system.
Yeah. So the body has to have some kind of emergency response.
A dramatic one. And the answer to that paradox is insulin. Insulin acts like this exhausted, frantic vacuum cleaner.
A vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, just desperately sucking that toxic excess sugar out of the bloodstream.
Why so urgent? Why does it have to come out so fast?
Because that refined sugar is literally corrosive. It creates free radicals that cause your arteries to basically rust from the inside. They get inflamed, and you get that endothelial damage we were just talking about.
So insulin is just performing emergency damage control.
Exactly. It's pulling the poison out and shoving it into storage as fat, just to protect your vessels from burning out right then and there.
But that emergency system can't last forever. I've heard estimates, 15 to 20 years before the pancreas just gets exhausted?
That's about right. Pancreatic fatigue sets in. Insulin production starts to drop, your blood sugar finally rises, and then you get that diagnosis, prediabetes or full-blown diabetes.
The link is just so clear.
It's absolute. A refined sugar creates the inflammation that starts the whole plaque cascade, and that same excess sugar gets converted into the very cholesterol the body then uses to patch up the wounds it just created.
It's a complete self-inflicted disaster. Okay, so once these plaque patches are there, how do we get rid of them? We don't just want to stop making new ones. We need to reverse the mess.
Right, so we have to rely on a natural process called reverse cholesterol transport, or RCT. This is literally the body's own cleanup crew.
What does it do?
It's designed to go in, pull that cholesterol buildup out of the artery walls, and then shuttle it back to the liver to be recycled and hopefully thrown out.
So how do we turn on this very necessary cleanup service? What are the levers we can pull?
First and foremost, you have to stop the attack. A low-carb diet is essential. It immediately removes the sugar toxin, which allows the damage to finally stop. It's also incredible for your liver. Well, studies show that a low-carb diet can remove up to 40% of the fat from your liver in just 2 weeks. That dramatically improves its ability to actually process all that cholesterol coming back to it.
Okay, so stop the damage.
Yeah.
What about helpers? Supplements, lifestyle changes.
There are a few key players. Niacin, which is vitamin B3, really helps mobilize the cholesterol out of the artery walls. And of course, HDL, the so-called good cholesterol, that's the physical truck that actually transports the cholesterol back to the liver.
And just general healthy habits.
Oh, absolutely. Things like regular exercise and incorporating some fasting, which really just means not eating constantly all day long, are also critical for activating this whole reversal process.
You also mentioned structural resilience earlier. That sounds really important for managing the pressure while we're cleaning everything up.
Yes, because we have to manage calcium's effect. Calcium makes artery walls contract. That leads to stiffness, high blood pressure. Magnesium is the master controller. It does the opposite. It helps the arteries relax. So if you're dealing with high blood pressure, getting enough magnesium is it's vital for managing that tension.
It's the artery's main relaxing mineral.
Precisely. And then there's vitamin K2. I kind of think of K2 as the traffic cop for calcium.
A traffic cop?
Yeah, it prevents that dangerous arterial calcification. It actively tells calcium to get out of your soft tissues like your arteries and pushes it back into your bones and teeth where it actually belongs.
That is a huge function. It basically stops the patch from turning into permanent cement in your artery walls.
Exactly. And then one last piece. For the liver to actually get rid of all that cholesterol that HDL brings back, it needs bile salts. They act like the final exit ramp, making sure that recycled gunk actually gets flushed out of your body for good.
So it's a full circle process. Stop the damage, clean up the mess with RCT, and control the structure with magnesium and K2.
Okay, so now that we have the full toolkit, is there a way to dramatically accelerate the healing?
There is. Let's talk about the one unexpected thing that really startled us. The so-called exercise in a cup.
This is where the plant chemistry gets truly incredible.
The big reveal is cacao powder. But we have to be super specific here.
Very specific.
We mean raw, high-flavanol cacao powder, not the roasted, heavily processed cocoa powder you use for baking chocolate cake.
Totally different things. This raw product is packed with these powerful compounds called polyphenols that directly support and protect that vulnerable endothelial layer.
The finding that jumped out at me from the research was that this raw cacao literally acts just like exercise in a cup. They actually compared the vasodilation, the widening of the blood vessels from drinking this stuff, to the widening you get from moderate exercise.
And the results were remarkably similar.
How does that even work?
It's not a parlor trick, it's deep chemistry. So something like beetroot powder, for example, it works because it provides nitric oxide directly. Cacao is much smarter.
Smarter how?
It stimulates your body's own enzyme machinery to make more nitric oxide on its own. You're not just giving your body a fish, you're teaching your arteries how to fish again.
And if you're coaching your body to heal itself, that's essentially anti-aging for your entire circulatory system.
That is the key takeaway. The research shows the effect is cumulative. It retrains your arteries to generate NO over time, which increases flexibility and reverses stiffness. And listen to this finding, because this is what blew the researchers away.
Okay.
A study looked at people aged 50 to 80. They had them consume this cacao daily for just 14 days. And they found that the thickness and stiffness of their arteries became comparable to people 20 to 30 years younger.
In 2 weeks? That's startling. How did they measure that?
They looked at things like flow-mediated vasodilation and the actual thickness of the arterial wall. The improvement suggested the arteries weren't just relaxing temporarily, they were becoming structurally healthier.
And I imagine the benefits don't just stop at the heart.
No, of course not. That increased blood flow and cellular health travels everywhere, to your brain, to your skin, you name it.
Okay, so it's time for the practical tips, the fine print. If we want to get these incredible benefits, how do we actually do it right?
The details here are vital. First, use warm water or maybe a milk alternative to mix it, but never, ever boiling water. It's a raw product. That high heat will just destroy all those powerful flavonols you're after, and go for organic if you can.
And now for the big one. The question everyone asks, what about my coffee? Because a lot of people just want to dump this in their morning brew.
And that's a genuine problem if your main goal is heart health.
Why?
Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. It tightens your blood vessels. The whole point of the cacao is massive vasodilation. The coffee literally works against the full benefit.
So you're canceling it out.
To a large degree, yes. For maximum vascular improvement, you need to separate them. Drink your cacao 2 hours before or 2 hours after your coffee.
So the true coffee lover has to build a little ritual around it.
Now, if you're only looking for the cognitive benefits, mixing them is probably fine. But for that powerful artery-relaxing impact, you have to keep them separate.
You can add things to it, though.
Oh, yeah. You can enhance it. Add a little pinch of sea salt for flavor, or even better, a scoop of magnesium glycinate to double down on that artery-relaxing mineral we talked about.
It sounds like a targeted, science-backed ritual that also happens to be a delicious one.
Exactly. And that kind of leaves us with our final thought for you to chew on. If the path to a healthier, younger heart involves stopping the sugar assault, maybe breathing through your nose, and drinking what is basically a fancy chocolate smoothie every morning, maybe modern health advice doesn't have to feel like a punishment.
How long before we realize that the most potent medicine is simply giving the body what it needs to stop fixing the disasters we keep creating?